Hello again, thank you for joining me for another video. So today I wanted to talk about a tricky subject, and that is the issue of becoming depressed after spiritual awakening. And it isn't so much that most people become depressed after spiritual awakening, but that they were depressed, thought that spiritual awakening would make the depression go away, and then once they found out that it did not make the depression go away, it made the depression 10 times worse, because you thought that the one thing that was for sure going to get you out of the existential dread of being alive failed. So let's talk about it a little bit. The energy right now is like, I don't know about you, but I've been getting a lot of the despair messaging in my feeds. And the things that are coming into my world, I've actually been contemplating doing losing my last friend. And by that I mean my laptop. And going, without any sort of blue light for a while. I haven't gotten that strong yet. I still need the distraction and dissociation that my wonderful little laptop offers me. But if you're feeling the heavies, there's some heavies in the air. We went from being kind of like scalar waved down to you don't get to feel a damn thing to trying to turn it back on. Every time it gets turned back on and you have to rebuild your spiritual fields again, you'll have to go through the layers of karmic scarring that you already have on your system. So I wanted to talk about the depression piece, because the depression piece after spiritual awakening takes on a different, fundamentally different light. And part of that is, number one, you thought this thing that was going to fix all the problems has failed you. And while that is true in some regards, it is untrue in others. So let me explain. You don't just get rid of depression. I think what happened since the rise of social media fame is that people were really heavily broadcasting the idea of positive vibes will change your life. That all you have to do is think positively and you will change your life. The problem with that mentality is that you have to become callous to other people's pain in order to remain positive all the time. You would have to, by virtue of the obvious, become callous to other people's pain. What happens when you become callous? Have you ever had a callus? It's a hard edge. So now the very fundamental spiritual energy that you need, you can no longer access because you cut yourself off. It's a little bit of a trick. And that trick was played on a lot of people. The other part of the depression piece after spiritual awakening is that you will notice and potentially feel, if you're sensitive, all of the things that are really ignorant in the world, not done right, and almost purposely done to prevent a peaceful existence for the majority of people. There are breaks and limiters. It's like a contracting set of features. The features themselves contract in various places. Every time you want to access something from the matrix, you have to make a contract. And that limits a certain amount of your energy is reserved for that thing you have contracted with. And we also have invisible contracts social contracts, karmic contracts. We have all of these ways in which our energy is limited. Simultaneous to that, we're within this larger sphere of a cycle where there's a whole bunch of new and a whole bunch of potential because of the new. And so we're watching some of the old degrade, and depending on where you look, it can be quite frightening because you don't know what's going to happen to the new. If the new has the capacity to degrade the old, is it safe? These kinds of things are going to play somewhere in your mind, and the inability to escape. So I'm one of those people that early in my awakening, I tried to escape society because I did not understand the larger context. And so I thought all I had to do was just get a little bit outside of society and be with other people who were existing a little bit outside of society, be one with nature and have that whole experience. And then I would be fine. And then I found out that that was not possible. There is no way to go. There's no place to go outside of society. Because society is made up of people. And we are built to work together. So you have to fundamentally become a different kind of organism than the one you are in order to eject from the thing that's bothering you. So that little push-pull, and once you really dig into it and see like, oh man, I have to work with other people. How am I going to do that? Okay, I'm going to get busy. I'm going to heal all my trauma. I won't get triggered anymore. And then I can deal with people. So you can heal your traumas and you can heal your triggers and you can come up with a whole bunch of skills and learn all this new information, ways to communicate. And then some new thing will pop up. Something that you used to be able to handle, you will suddenly no longer be able to handle it. And simultaneous to this, the Matrix will fuck with you. And everybody who's been awake long enough knows that this happens. We don't know who, what, why it's happening, but we do know that it's happening. Weird things will show up in your reality almost purposely to aggravate you, to test you, to push you, to throw you off your ego or identity or stability. It's usually just to collapse your field. Field maybe got a little big. It's usually just to collapse your field. But I do feel like there's some experiments running in the background that not necessarily completely well understood by even the ones who get the data from them. I just think that's part of the nature of what's happened to me and that I've perceived. And so when you're doing all of the things and you're still not getting the results, doing your yoga, doing your meditation, going to therapy, deeply investigating the nature of the harms, beliefs, and false ideologies you've been running around with. Once you forgive yourself for all the things you've done wrong, you've forgiven everybody who's harmed you, you've made peace with things, you're like, okay, I think I got a grasp on this. I got a grasp on this. And then, you'll have the thing that shows up where, you see this a lot of times with YouTubers who record when they're outside. Or in their vehicles or whatever, that someone will come by with a blower, leaf blower, or someone will start an argument outside their window, or some other weird little fuckery thing will happen. And it will cause you to get slightly enraged, most people. It's easy to deal with. It's not like a lasting rage, but it's just a little bit of annoyance, like, what, like, why? So mine right now is the track at the gym. So every time I have to run at the gym, there will be someone in they're walking in the running lane, or they're stretching in the running lane, or everybody decided to go the wrong way because it's marked, this day go clockwise, this day go counterclockwise, or there'll be, aggressive runners who like almost run into you or like go right in front of you and make it physically uncomfortable to be on the track running. I also get very irritated with certain sounds. So if someone has a running style that's like clomp, 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 I can't deal with it. It's like, it'll irritate me. They've been having like basketball camp, and so then you have 10,000 basketballs being bounced at one time. What, like, normally for me, running has been kind of a little bit of a meditation, controlled breathing, paying attention to everything. And I was doing really good with that. And then, so then I got the introduction of, okay, but what if it's super annoying? Can you still maintain your meditative, peaceful stance? No, I can't. I have to go to the treadmill. I can't do it. I will complain for 10 minutes. So it causes this like self-esteem issue. So you had a spiritual awakening. You thought things were going to get good. You've been promised. All you had to do was just get positive. But the world won't leave you alone long enough for the positive to really take root in you. And so then it starts to cycle all over again. And it's vicious, really. It actually, yes. And it can cause a bit of self-loathing. And like a lot of people call it the dark night of the soul, where they really like, God, why are you allowing, like, I've had this awakening. I know spiritual energy is real. I can, infer from the little bit that I've seen that it only gets bigger and better. If I'm capable of bliss states, asking to help, to be allowed to maintain, open to receive, I'm a teachable spirit as much as I can. Can you help me out a little bit? And when that response comes back empty, then like, oh, here's the real test. Can I be in the forest in the middle of the night by myself and maintain my peace? Knowing that there could be wild animals all around me, and that if any of them get to me, if I fall asleep, they might come for me. And that's like the weird trick. You have to get to the point where you go back to faith. Like, it's just this circular return. You have to return to the state of faith. Like, you go into this like knowing of the bigness of spirit, and then get collapsed back into your local self, your little human self with all of its interactions. And it can cause just that pendulum, if you're on it too closely, can cause an existential crisis of what is the point of this? If I make effort, it's like if you had to go to work every day and you never got paid, ever, but weren't allowed to stop. It feels like that. There's a strange misfire in this realm, and it shows up in lots of places, and also in this one. It's a strange thing. So the other parts, there's so many pieces to this depression thing, because the other part is you're not connecting to people in the way that you used to connect to them anymore. And that simple disconnect from others can cause depression in the form of loneliness and isolation and fear and social anxiety. And if you have something like PTSD or childhood trauma, it's going to be 10 times worse. Nobody has prepared the people with all of that going on for what spiritual awakening does to you. The layers of the onion that must be peeled while clinging to the thing that everybody is telling you to let go of. You have to cling to it until all of the layers of the onion have been unpeeled. You can't let go of God in your understanding and become this non-dual master until the onion is done being peeled. Sorry that nobody told you that. They are assholes trying to steal money. So the depression will come from the injustices and not being able to find other people who see injustice in the same way or care about, or they don't have the same passion as you. They might even not even have the tiniest bit of interest in the same things that you're interested in. And then the ways that we have been relating as a society where, around money and distraction and entertainment. Money, distraction, entertainment. Get your money, get distracted, find some entertainment, get your money. And so when you're curious why it seems like you can understand what the birds are saying, and if there's some importance to digging into, do I have a past life? Was I alive before? How do I get that information? How do I change my trajectory? What if the perfect future for me includes a little bit of hardship right now? How do I see that so I can get through this without feeling like a victim? And to talk that through with other intelligent, like-minded souls, it's like a craving. You'll crave it so much, and then you will not find it, because it's rare to find those people who are also on that path, number one, and they might be too caught up in what they need to stay focused on to actually meet you there. And then all of the people who used to have these kind of like helper roles, they're slinging tarot, they're slinging psychic readings, because we've been financially, paperclipped here. Paperclip experiment, the massive technology, they're making money like crazy, and the rest of us are like, scared, grabbing as much as we can while we can. Well, I'm not, because I'm an idiot, but the rest of them are. So the depression will come from lack of the deep connection, because simultaneous to those, having those unique goals, and the necessity of the solitary inquiry, so you can find that connection to your deeper karmas, your deeper soul resonance, the potential of past and future lives pulling on your energy. All of the ways that you need to clean up your system and eat right and get your exercise and be good to the people around you. That takes a tremendous focus, especially in light of all of the emotional upheaval that the average person is under. So you're missing key connections that would feel good. You're fed a shit ton of lies and other forms of this hopelessness about the future, because you can't see it. We're really wrapped up in our individual lives, so it's hard to see. When I was a kid, it felt like humanity was moving together into the future, and so taking any job to keep society functioning well was reward in itself, because it felt like you were part of a larger system that was doing good for all of the creatures called human. And somewhere along the way that like broke, where we slipped into some weird timeline where, you know, humans were like considered farm animals, or convinced that they were considered farm animals. And the more you look at these things and can't find a way out, you know, so you'll look and you try to find a way to be comfortable inside your body for the remainder of the life that you have, and all of the pressures of the society and the lack of connection and the strength you have to pull. It's a lot that's being asked of people after a spiritual awakening. And simultaneous to that, you'll have the people like, you just need Jesus, or you just need this yoga, or you just need to repeat this mantra, or you're nothing. Who's asking the question? There's nobody there. These are all just tricks of your mind. Let it go. Stop feeling so much. So as you're looking at the vast expanse of information available to us, and learning how to see the space between, right? There's a space between the in-breath and out-breath. There's the peaks and the valleys. And if you can hold on to that a little bit more, that little space of, it's not coming in, it's not going out, it's that moment in between, then all of the information just stops for a second, and you can expand that silent state. And if you're stuck in the noise, faith will take you back there. But faith literally means you can't remember. You just know that there was something that made all of the noise go away. And then that faith is like, I'm just grabbing that. And it will take you back to the, oh yeah, there's that space in between. Oh yeah, the future is not written. I don't know what I'm going to be next. So there's a lot of reasons to really, you can go down so many spirals. I see a lot of them, the people, and you can't pull people out of the spirals either. So like, even like if you like to rescue people, I used to love to rescue people. It's my favorite thing. Rescue them to where? There's no solid ground. Rescue them to where? All I can do is tell people I care. I hear, I sense, I feel, and I care. But I can't put you on solid ground because there isn't any. But there isn't any for anybody. So don't be fooled by that either. And somehow that strange faith is going to be enough to pull us through, because that does seem to be the way things work. We do take care of that which is lesser than us. We do take care of animals. We do take care of nature. All of the bugs. We do that. And I think that is written into the code of how this place works, that there is something bigger than us that is also caring for us. What is a little bit lower gets cared for by that which is a little bit higher. And if you really just like lean into that a little bit, that will make more sense. So if you're going through it, you know, you're going to be okay. And your pain is real and important. It's like the squeezing, right? Like as if you were a rag being running through until there's no more water comes out. And like if you can think of that as all of the the material existence being wrung out of you so that you just feel what it is to be that holy space of consciousness. It's just part of the cycle, part of how it works. So please feel free to leave any questions or comments below. Do not tell me that I need Jesus, because I know Jesus. Thank you.